Welcome back to the KickNPost YouTube channel and podcast, episode 11 of Teal and Steel. I keep leaving it on that, but that's okay.
But there's a lot of things around it.
I know, look at it.
It's
holidays.
Distract you
it's
from
Christmas.
That.
It's Christmas. Look.
Christmas.
It's Christmas. You got the Christmas, the tree decorated by my wifey. Thank you.
Shout out to Leigh.
And also shout out to my wifey's mom for the.
Hold on, you get up and show them.
I gotta, with the, gotta flex a little bit. It's probably loud as crap in the mic too, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay, because you're looking clean with it. So.
I've been feeling good as a Jags fan lately. So it feels good to finally have some Jags gear.
It does.
How been you feeling about the Steelers boys?
I've been feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty happy. Kenny Pickett has been looking pretty impressive in my mind. Last couple weeks, even this whole season, I've said that he's done well. He's shown me some good things. The big thing that I'm really happy to see is no turnovers. He hasn't thrown, I don't think, picks in the last two matchups. He's been safe with the ball. I don't even think he's fumbled the ball. I'm really happy to see that. When you have a pretty solid defense on the other side, if we can just score like we do every single week, if we score like 20 points, we're always going to be in the mix of winning that game, in my opinion. Now, next year comes around, he'll be even more developed. Everybody else will be more developed. I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Kenny Pickett's.
Hey, keep your point going. Don't look at me.
Anyways, Kenny Pickett's looking nice. I see good reads. I see he's clean with the ball right now. The only thing that I would say, and I don't think this is a Kenny Pickett problem, we just don't go down the field very much. Matt Canada is still, in my opinion, a problem. I'm sorry. He's still a problem.
It's Matt Canada hate on this podcast every week.
Short routes, it's mid routes, and then it's very, in my opinion,
mid-play calling.
Very mid-play calling. In my opinion, trash play calling. But clearly it's gotten a little better because we are scoring some points, so maybe it has upgraded to mid-level, but we're still not really pushing the ball downfield. I don't think we've really done that ever since Antonio Brown has been on my team.
Why do you think that is outside of Matt Canada?
I do think Ben Roethlisberger, he didn't have much of an arm. I agree. Kenny Pickett, I don't even think he has like a cannon, but I think he's capable of throwing a deep route.
I don't even think it's an arm strength thing.
And also, the O-line isn't great. But at the same time, like I've seen plenty of plays where you can just roll them out, have a go route. I feel like there's still ways to make that happen. I understand our O-line isn't amazing, but rollouts, tight end protect on the right, running back protect on the right, him rolling out to that side, have a slot guy, have an outside guy. Maybe one guy kind of does like a little post out, and then one guy does like maybe like a mid-level out route. I feel like there's options there still. You can even put trios on the right side and move the tight end to the other side, have a running back right there, him protect the quarterback for that rollout. Now you have three wide receivers. One guy can go deep. One guy can just be like a drop down or like just a pass the ball real quick. I feel like there's things like that could still be. Now I'm saying all that, and I'm sure that I'm not no offensive coordinator, so I'm sure it's more difficult than that. But I still feel like there are options out there. We have the receivers to push the ball down the field. I think we should be taking some shots. And I think Kenny Pickett, he's down to take some shots. And that's one thing I've also appreciated with him. He's not afraid to just pass the ball. He's not afraid to put him in tight windows. He actually reminds me a lot of Big Ben a lot. Big Ben wasn't afraid to throw interceptions. He didn't care. He was like, I'm going to let my receiver take a shot at it. And when you have people like George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth, when you have guys like that, I feel like, why not? Why not let them make a play? So
air it out a little bit.
So that's my only thing, really, with the Steelers. But overall, I've been very happy with them. I know our record isn't great, but I knew that going into this season. I've seen some progress with Kenny Pickett. I don't know if I'm there yet to say he's our guy for the rest of our lives, but not the rest of our lives, but for the next 10, 15 years. But he is getting close to that point where I'm feeling pretty good about our future. So, yeah. Now, let me tell me about the Jags. They just had a big win versus the Ravens. The Ravens are a tough matchup, and y'all still managed to pull it out.
So we usually find ways to lose games. I don't understand how we kept ourselves in this one for that long, too. Travis Etienne went down early. Put a lot of fear in me as a fan. Sounds like it's not going to be too serious, though, so that's a positive. He says he's good for this week. Fantasy-wise, unless you have to, I'd probably bench him, though. I feel like re-injury risk is pretty high. I'm in the league I have him, I'm probably going to start him. But the re-injury risk is a little bit high, in my opinion.
The only reason why I'd say start him is because the head coach, was it Doug Peterson?
Yeah.
He talked about how he could have gotten back into the game. Now, I don't know if he's just saying that, but if there's a question
if it's a pain tolerance thing, then sure, but I still haven't heard much word on what it is, and if it's Lisfranc related, I'm worried that there's high re-injury rate. But outside of that, we were able to get Jermichael Hasty involved a lot when he went out passing to the running back a little bit more. Trevor was really safe with the ball. I think he had a fumble though, which still seems to be an issue for Trevor.
Just a small body, small frame.
Yeah, but he keeps the ball away from his body a lot. I don't get it. But he didn't throw any picks. Hasn't thrown any picks in the last 2 games. And then when they were down, he clawed them back into it and then led a game-winning drive in the last minute. Solid pass to Marvin Jones. Solid pass. Zay Jones showed up big for us. Christian Kirk was a little bit absent. But Zay Jones had a massive day. I think it was like 11 catches for 146 or something
nuts.
He was stupid. Tight end didn't really get involved. Defense played well against Lamar. I know the game started late because of a rain delay. I don't think it affected the weather much really though, because sun came out. They were good. I didn't see any rain for like a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, here in Florida, bro. It might rain 30 minutes. We'll be fine.
I considered going to this game, but I was like,
you should have.
Yeah. Because when the rain, if I was there and the rain started, I would have been upset because I would have gotten soaked.
I know someone that we work with that went to go see the game. You know what I'm talking about?
Late?
No.
Who?
I was thinking about somebody else.
Not late?
No, it's a fellow Jags fan. Works in the office.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Were they there when I was there?
Were they what?
Were they there when I was there? Who's a Jag fan in the office?
I'm talking about the office, like our corporate office down here in downtown Pensacola. We'll talk about it. I don't want to name drop him. So
I was about to say I don't know.
I don't want to name drop him, but I'll tell you afterwards. You'll know who I'm talking about when I mention it.
Okay, cool.
I think I can say first names, right?
Yeah,
Chris.
Really?
I'm sure you know he's a big Jags fan.
I had no clue.
You didn't know he was a Jags fan?
No.
Chris is a huge Jags fan.
Yeah, I had no clue that he was a Jags fan.
No, because we had our promotion meeting with somebody else. When I was there, he had like a whole little talk about it.
No, that's lit. I didn't know that. I have not really a new hire anymore, but we talk Jags all the time when we work. It's a front service clerk. And me and him were talking, I was like, bro, I feel like we might win this game. I was saying it kind of like matter-of-factly. And he's like, yeah, me too. And I was like, okay, now I'm worried. Because if you think we're going to win and I think we're going to win, there's no chance we win. He also didn't think we were going to win. Last episode, we bet on it ahead of time. 2 weeks out. You were that confident. You bet me 2 weeks out that the Ravens would beat us.
Yeah.
You were confident. I mean,
that's fine. And you know what? I'll let you know. You can get a win every once in a while.
That was a nice one.
That was a nice one.
And unexpected because with a minute left, I was like, yeah, he definitely won the bet. But part of what I saw out of Trevor, he played smart. We're in the red zone a couple times. He did not force it. Threw it away. Red zone interceptions gone. All of a sudden, we're in the game. Right? Had field goal opportunities, took those. Didn't force anything at all. Settled for punting sometimes, which isn't always the best, but better than giving up good field position by throwing bad passes.
Yeah.
So I was happy to see that progression, and the arm talent is there. This man has a cannon. Seen that.
He's always had the talent.
Seen accuracy. So I'm feeling good as a Jags fan. And then you drop him into a situation next year with Calvin Ridley. I mean,
have we talked about it on the podcast?
Yeah, a little bit. Just short stint, not much because we talked about it on the trade deadline one that we did, but we haven't really broken down like how it drops everybody down the pecking order. So now Christian Kirk is a 2 again. I think that's still his best version of himself. He's played well for us, but
and to have someone like Zay Jones as well.
Yeah, Zay Jones is a tertiary option, not secondary option. Marvin Jones as if we run 4 people out there instead of.
That man's still gonna be playing.
Probably, to be honest.
He's like 34.
He plays Detroit this week, and I'm feeling a big game out of Marvin Jones. If you're in deeper leagues.
Yeah, Marvin Jones is, in my opinion, strictly a deep league player to start. Anything like a traditional league.
Like, KickNPost Dino isn't necessarily a deeper league, but it has a lot of positions you could start. If you're hurting for receiver, I think this is the big Marvin Jones week.
And I think KickNPost is kind of a good... Is kind of a deep league in my opinion, and not format wise, it might not technically be a deep league, but I think the people that are in it, everybody knows what they're doing. All the good players are gone. Everybody has pretty overall even teams.
This is a big week in the league. I don't know if you've seen, but I play the number 1 team.
Who do I play?
I don't know, but I play the number 1 team. I think Otto's the number 2 team, and he plays the number 4 team or something.
So you said I had potential to not potential to win, but to compete.
You do still, because if you look at your roster, right? Ramondre Stevenson, Miles Sanders. Who's your other running back? JT. That's a really dope trio.
But what you're not talking about, though, is my receiving core. Talk about my receiving core.
Judy's coming back this week, is what it looks like. I know it's a little bit of a question mark. You went and got Pickens. He's been showing up a little bit more lately. He's still a project, but he's young.
I still think he's been... He dropped a touchdown pass the other day.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying this yet, and I hate to say this, but it looks like he's overtaken that wide receiver 1 spot from Deontay.
He has.
And he has better numbers. Fantasy-wise, he's been better than Deontay. So
that's 1 plus as well.
But that's for now. I mean, don't take that too far, because next year when Kenny Pickett develops even more, there could be definitely room for both of them to be,
You know what I could see?
What?
A Keenan Allen, Mike Williams type of situation.
Yeah.
Like where Keenan Allen complements Mike Williams' games very well when they play together, but Keenan Allen's always going to be the 10 for 80 and maybe a touchdown. A lot of short stuff, a lot of get the first down stuff. While Mike Williams, if he gets 10 receptions, it's a stupid number of yards, like 10 for 180 and maybe 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So his boom games are going to be higher.
So which one are you saying? So you're saying Pickens is Mike Will?
Yeah, I'm saying
because
Pickens is Mike Will.
I agree with you, but I think it's going to be a downgraded version on Keenan's side with Deontay.
Yeah, it's going to be more like an 8 for 60 and maybe a touchdown.
Because that's pretty much where Deontay's at right now. And he hasn't found the end zone this year yet. Not too really. He's had plenty of opportunities. He just hasn't really clicked yet.
He hasn't been. They haven't really been looking for him in the red zone that much.
It hasn't, man. It's more been like Firemouth and Pickens right now.
Yeah.
And I hate that he. Come on, man. 2 hands.
Yeah.
2 hands. But it's okay.
Who's your other receiver? Because I know I'm missing one. I have Pickens and Judy.
Gosh. So right now I'm starting. Well, I guess I could put Judy now. But I had what's his name? It's funny because we talked crap about him week 2.
Paris Campbell?
No, it was He's on the Raiders.
Renfro?
No. The other guy.
Mac Hollins? Oh, you really went in the bag for that one. He played well last week.
Well, he's been playing well, but it's more because there's no Waller, no Renfro, so he's kind of in a great situation. If Renfro and Waller...
That's a smart start by you, though.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that I have someone named Matt Collins starting... Oh, my God.
Did you win last week? You won last week.
No, hold on. I don't think I did because I lost back-to-back games within 1.5 points.
I saw that. But did you win last week?
I think last week.
Did you beat somebody by 1.5 points last week?
Yeah, I think last week I beat somebody. I had it. My whole team clicked, I think, last week because I was the second highest scorer.
Have you seen my point total?
Yeah, it's up there. And
it's not only up there.
I saw in the comments too where Coach was kind of riding that one dude, and he was like, "Look at them all. He's over here in number 1 and number 2 in points,
6th in the league with I have 1,900 points. The person in first has 17 something. It's all about matchups.
Yeah,
it's literally about matchups.
And I remember one time you told me that in Black and Yellow, that's another league that we have.
Yeah.
That you're just lucky you're facing the right matchups. You know who's number 1 in scoring?
I was talking smack.
Not me, but I was number 2.
I was talking smack. I was upset. I can admit it. Your team is solid. You're probably going to win that league.
I don't know though because Chris, his whole team has connected. It has connected,
and he got the masseuse, the massage connoisseur back.
Which I'm not too worried about. Honestly, I'm not too worried about Deshaun Watson yet. This man hasn't played football in 2-3 years. He has all the distractions in the world. I need to see it. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's out. I'm just saying I need to see it. Nah, you wild if you think he's just going to come back and he's just going to be this elite player out of nowhere. He might, but I got to see it.
How bad do you think he's going to be?
I don't think he's going to be that bad, but I'm just saying I don't...
okay, if you had to put him on a quarterback scale right now, do you think he'll be top 10?
Top 10 in the league?
Yeah, fantasy-wise. Not...
from the minute he starts to the end, will he fall in the top 10?
Yeah.
No. I don't think he will.
Top 10 in scoring for that window.
I don't think so.
So not eclipse previous weeks, but top 10 in scoring for that window.
No, I don't think so. It's not to say that he's not talented. He's not good. There's a few things.
I'm pretty confident.
There's a few things I'm thinking about. First of all, he hasn't played football in so long.
Yes.
He hasn't played in an official NFL game in a very long time. Second, he has a lot of distractions going on. I'm sure
10 of the people are going to be at his first game in the skybox.
Which makes me think that I'm not going to say. But anyways, second thing, He has a lot of distractions going on. And third of all, isn't this year he's not even really technically getting paid?
His contract was $4 million this year.
So
I think that's getting paid personally in the seat that I'm
okay,
sitting
but in football talk,
but
and
it was
professional football talk,
it was a smart and kind of conniving contract thing they did
it was
because they knew it was coming, so he wouldn't miss that much money on the front end. You're not sweating the cash. He's still gonna get paid.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's not gonna be top 10. I think realistically, I think he could be definitely be from 10 to 20. No, I'm saying like 10 to 20. I think he could be like a something somewhere in there. I think it's gonna take a little bit of time for him to connect, and then once he connects, maybe like the last couple weeks of the season, he'll like really turn up. But I think these first few games, I'd be a little wary when it comes to starting him just yet. Now, in deep and super flex leagues, you might have to start him. But if you're looking at like a wide receiver, not wide receiver,
you know who he plays first week, right?
I don't. Amal. I do not give a shit. It could be the Detroit Lions. I do not care. This man hasn't played football in so damn long. For me to start him out of nowhere just because, no.
All right, so let's do a little pick your poison, right?
And look, I'm not saying he's not going to go off. I'm just saying I gotta see. I want to see it first before I sit here and I just start the man.
Kirk Cousins or Deshaun Watson starting this week?
I'd rather go Kirk Cousins. Now I don't know the matchups.
I'm not going matchups. I'm just going strictly.
I'd rather go Kirk Cousins. I'd rather go Kirk Cousins.
Kyler Murray or Deshaun Watson this week.
Kyler Murray.
He hasn't played well this year.
Fantasy wise, he's a top 10 quarterback.
I think over this next span, he's going to get eclipsed by Deshaun Watson.
You really are
I don't think you remember what this guy was when
he was a top 5 quarterback.
I'm not even talking about like performance for the team.
I don't think it's that crazy what I'm saying.
But he's literally
I'm just saying, this man hasn't played football in so long. I would just wait till you see him really get back into the groove of things and then start him.
He's not.
I never said that you just can't start the man like whatsoever.
I'm saying he's a top 10 quarterback, and you're saying he falls 10 to 20.
Oh, we're talking about, first of all, I'm talking about fantasy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
In fantasy football, I would say just wait a little bit. But okay, maybe by the end of the season he could fall in the top 10. Maybe I'll give you that. But what I am going to say is wait till you see something first before you just start the man. Because we saw him in preseason. Didn't look very good.
He didn't.
He did not look good. And not saying he's not a good quarterback, but obviously when someone doesn't do for so long, and during given the circumstances, we really haven't seen something like this. For us just to be super confident that he can just come right in and just be a top 10 quarterback in fantasy, just wait a little bit.
I think I'm being a little biased because when Michael Vick came back off of suspension, he was QB1 in fantasy.
But so maybe. And Deshaun Watson does bring the mobility.
Code. Exactly.
I'm not saying that maybe I'm saying like next year for sure. Top 5 potential, top 10 100%. But I'm just saying for this remaining of the year, cool, you got him. Wait to see what he does week 1. Who does he play?
Houston. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that just wild how the NFL suspension just made it work out where he played Houston his first game back? Just crazy. The Coinky Dink.
I forgot about that.
The Coinky Dink.
You might have to start him. you might have to start him.
The team that benched him for a year.
Okay, if it was any other team, I would have been like, nah.
It's a revenge game. And they put the people up in the skybox. I think it's in Houston.
Shoot, if I would have known that it was Houston, I would have gone on this rampage. You should have just told me.
No, I'll let you do your thing. Because Houston's defense against quarterbacks has been sneakily good. I think they're ranked like top 5 in fantasy against the quarterback.
Well, here's what I will say. Houston's defense also has been, in my opinion, been all right throughout the whole year. But anyways, here's what I will say. It is a revenge game, and I do believe in revenge games. So, okay, maybe I would start him, but I will say just have your expectations kind of low. Don't have your expectations high. I think he has to be a start now because of who it is. But if he walks out with like a 15-point game or a 20-point game, I think that's realistic. I don't think he's going to sit here and throw for 400 yards with 4 passing touchdowns with a rushing touchdown. I don't think he's going to do all that.
Here's a guarantee. He'll throw a pick. If you guys are price picks and he's on there at 0.5 interceptions, he's going to throw a pick. That rush is going to force him to miss something. He's going to forget the speed of the game. Something's going to happen. He's going to throw an interception. But passing yards, rushing yards, I'm feeling good about it, and I'm feeling better about the pass catchers in Cleveland. So if I'm feeling better about the pass catchers in Cleveland, I gotta believe in them, right? I think Amari Cooper is gonna get a boost, which he don't need much of a boost.
He's already top 10.
Imagine how he was balling with Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett was somewhat startable because of this.
In Superflex, you could make a case, yeah.
Right, and because of this offensive line, because of the running backs in the backfield, that kind of make it easy on him. Because of Amari Cooper, right? Even Donovan Peoples-Jones showing up a little bit.
He's had his moments, yeah.
Right, and Njoku's back now, too. He had a great start to the year.
Unfortunately, he's going to be out, though.
Really? He hurt himself again?
They already called him out for this next game.
The one time he started balling, he just can't stay healthy. When he was healthy, he wasn't doing nothing. And now that he can't stay healthy, he'd be balling when he's on the field.
He is going to be a nice asset when he comes back, though. But
they paid him, so yeah, he'll be
as long as he's healthy. So
I got to believe him if I believe in everybody else, right? Like, how bad can he be? Do you think he'll be worse than Jacoby Brissett? You don't think he'll be like a 1.5 Jacoby Brissett?
Okay, so if I'm keeping this in account that it's not Houston, I'm just thinking about he's playing a team first game back after a very long time. I don't see why it's crazy to believe that he might be a little rusty. And for this week, maybe if Brissett started or Watson started, that they would have maybe the similar stat lines. It's not crazy to me to think that. He has so many distractions. He had like 26 people file against him. He had to go to court. He had to do all these things. He had the Houston issues. He went to Cleveland. He has so many things go on. It's just hard for me to believe that someone after all of that is just going to come back and it's just going to be like, clicked, good to go. I just have a hard time first week. Look, he may go out there and he may go crazy. Good for him. But in a fantasy perspective, as a Deshaun Watson owner, now, like I said, since he's playing Houston, I probably would just start him anyways. But if he wasn't playing Houston, and if you had like I'm trying to think of a quarterback. Give me a quarterback example that falls around and like that.
Jared Goff.
Depending on the matchup, maybe.
He's been horrible the last 8 weeks.
He has been very bad the past 8 weeks. But if the matchup was nice, I do like their offense. They are the number one offensive scoring team.
Not anymore.
Well, they're still up there though.
Yeah,
so,
they're up there.
So I would, depending on who the matchup was. If it was a good team, probably not. But maybe give me another example.
Middle of the road.
Kind of.
Trevor Lawrence.
I would start Trevor Lawrence over him week 1.
Really?
If he wasn't playing Houston, I would, because I'm gonna be the safe bet. I don't want to see him go out there and he's just completely rusty to the point where he's throwing the ball. He's 15 for 33 with 180 passing yards and a pick. Because that's not a okay. Probably Deshaun Watson just because of the rushing upside.
If you put a hand over Russell Wilson's name and I just showed you the stats, you are.
Which one thing I will say about Russell Wilson, kind of going on a different tangent right now. I saw some videos recently about Russell Wilson, and I feel a little bit bad for him because there was this video I saw. It was one drive. They had one drive. It was before the half, and this might have been the last game. Russell Wilson threw 4 touchdowns on that drive, but there was a holding call, there was a drop, there was an offensive pass interference. And there was some random ass thing else that happened. But he still managed to get the first down every time. He still managed to keep them giving opportunities. And they ended up not even getting any points that drive. Everybody's looking at Russell Wilson. What the hell? But this man threw 4 touchdowns on that drive. Now, I'm not saying that he hasn't been playing bad. He's been playing atrocious. But I do think there should be some more blame. I think the receiving core has been pathetic. Pathetic. I'm so sorry, but it's been pathetic. Cortland Sutton has been pathetic. He's a one-dimensional receiver. I like him, but
that one dimension's been struggling.
This man reminds me of Chase Claypool. Doesn't know how to do the one thing he knows how to do good.
Oh no.
Anyways, Jerry Jeudy can't stay healthy, and then I've had my flares with him recently.
Maybe he had a point. He's out. He's the only way I can stay healthy is if I dodge these hits.
Yeah,
maybe he had a point.
And that's true. I do think he might be. I don't blame him for that. That's the reason why. Because it's like Tyler Lockett. I don't know if you've seen those videos.
I've sent it to you.
Oh yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, Tyler Lockett literally just catches the ball and just falls down. I respect it though.
He's balling this year too.
This man's 5'9", 5'10". Do your thing, bro.
He needs balling. He's a top 15 wide receiver right now in fantasy. So
if you're a fantasy owner of Tyler Lockett, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, keep lying down, bro.
But yeah, so Cortland Sutton's been trash. Okay, so Jerry Jeudy can't stay healthy.
KJ Hamler's also not been able to stay healthy.
KJ Hamler can't stay healthy. Running game. You're starting Latavius Murray as your running back. Come on.
So they did waive Melvin Gordon though.
Melvin Gordon was fumbling like crazy. He was
Watch this man on the Chiefs. I bet you he forget how to fumble on the Chiefs. It always happens.
Andy Reid would be the one to get it
right.
I
know he's gonna figure it out.
Andy Reid gonna be like, if you fumble this damn ball one more time.
Hey, not to bring it back to fantasy too quick, but I saw he got waived and I was just rubbing my hands. I was like, it's gonna be Los Angeles or a competitor. Those are the only two people who are gonna sign Melvin Gordon. And when I saw Chiefs, I was like,
we'll see. I mean, we'll see. But
they love Pacheco, so I don't know.
But past that, on the Broncos, there's not much. The offensive line has been atrocious.
That was supposed to be an upgrade from Seattle. It's been backwards.
It's been atrocious.
Seattle's offensive line's played better than the Denver's.
That video that I'm talking about, the whole thing is Russell Wilson running around because he's being chased by defensive players. So that's all. And then you have a horrible head coach. So all this
he is the worst.
You have all of this going on. All I'm saying, and I think I've said this a few in the past already, the blame should be passed around a little bit. Russell Wilson made the plays that drive. He made the plays to go down there and make that touchdown. But his whole team stopped him from getting that touchdown. Offensive line was bad. Penalties, holding calls, interferences, anything you can think of. Drop passes. So Russell Wilson has been bad, but I will say, let's see what they got next year. I'm really excited to see Russell Wilson next year. After a whole year of addressing issues, Judy hopefully is healthy. Sutton finally learns how to do what he can do best at again. KJ Hamler can stay healthy. I'm really excited to see what they can do. So
it's not just the fact that he's been bad, though. It's what you gave up for Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
It's the fact that he came in and immediately got a fat contract, which also sets the team back.
And here's the thing.
It's the thing surrounding. Just like you said, it's not necessarily just his play. There's a lot of things surrounding Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily his fault. Yeah, he wants his money. He got his money, right? Yeah, they gave up to get him. That's not his fault that he was that valuable in the trade market. But unfortunately, it's tied to his name. So.
But here's also the thing. Russell Wilson plays good next year, nobody will care.
Oh, yeah, it's gone.
Nobody will care.
The memes will still be there, though.
The memes, yeah.
Russ
Russell Wilson is born to be a meme. Right? He's still...
Let Russ cook, and it's Cheerios with a piece of bread and cheese, and then a raw hot dog in the middle.
The memes will be there, but if he starts playing good, nobody will care.
Yeah,
it's the fact that they're playing bad that everybody's talking about this contract. But just wait till next year. We'll see again. Start over. Definitely a new head coach. I would say somebody offensive minded. I don't know if it's Hackett offensive minded.
He's zero minded. He ain't got no brain up there. I don't know what mind he got. Everything I've seen him do has been questionable.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know. We'll see. But I am really looking forward to next year, and I think that everybody that's been dogging on Russell Wilson, I would say just go look at the tapes. There is a lot of bad, but you're going to see a lot of good too. But you're seeing the cast around him not really performing, and everybody is just bashing Russell Wilson. But in reality, it's still him, but it's still a lot of pieces around him. Imagine if you're in that situation. You're a quarterback for this team. Your receivers can't get open. Your O-line can't protect you. Your starting running back is a 33-year-old Latavius Murray.
He looked good.
And everybody is looking at you, and that's the quarterback position. So I'm not discounting that, but it just sucks. So we'll see.
I think the rise of fantasy football has also kind of hurt him because he is no doubt one of the biggest busts of the year, and that's hard to say from quarterbacks, especially an old quarterback. Where if it was dynasty, people waited a little bit to take him anyway. I know he was going probably like 4th, 5th round. If it was redraft, he still wasn't going high, and he's still a bust.
Yeah,
definitely at the top of the bust list or top 10 of the bust list. But on the topic,
so we're about to talk about that anyways.
Where do you think, who else are some of the biggest busts in fantasy this year?
So,
from where they got drafted in drafts you've been.
So coming into this episode, where we're going to talk about the scores and the busts, the booms and the busts of every kind of draft pick. So kind of we can start with busts when it comes to week 1, week 2, not week 1, but round 1 or round 2. Depending on which league you're in, Russell Wilson fell in the second round.
You had people take him second round?
Well, I'm talking about in Superflex leagues. I've seen him taken second round.
Yeah, that's a huge bust.
I think
that's a big no-no, sir.
Well, I don't think I'm tripping with that because I believe seeing him second, third round.
Yeah.
But anyways, the obvious bust for a second round. I hate to say it, but it's definitely Najee. He has been looking a lot better though the past couple weeks. Unfortunately, he is hurt right now, so we'll see the extent of the what's going on with him. But regardless, especially if he's out for another week or two, we've had injury plagues. They
said he's playing this week.
Okay, so
that's the last update I got.
Okay, that's good. But no, he has been the bust. I mean, he was a top 5 running back. People were taking him first round. He's been very mid.
DeAndre Swift.
Oh, DeAndre Swift. Don't even get me started with DeAndre Swift. I was one of those people that loved DeAndre Swift. I took him in 2 leagues. Luckily, I shipped him out for. I think I told you this trade. I shipped Swift out for Amon Ra, Rashad White, and Leonard Fournette, and I also sent him Deontay Foreman.
Smart.
Hey,
good dub.
That was a nice dub. But anyways, kind of off topic. DeAndre Swift and Najee. I'm almost thinking about DeAndre has been more than Najee at this point.
He was falling a little bit behind Najee on the draft board. He was still going like 1-9, 110.
So I guess depending if you're looking at the specifics on when you took him, but I think overall DeAndre has been more of a disappointment in my eyes.
Because he's been out and also he's been getting vultured heavily. That leads into one of the biggest steals of the draft.
Yeah, we'll get
You're picking that man up super late, but we'll get into him. Yeah. He not only stole TDs, he's one of the biggest steals of the draft. Javonte Williams, unfortunately, torn ACL. He can't help that, but he's definitely one of the busts of the year. People invested highly, expected him to take over the backfield, and then everything fell apart. Melvin Gordon re-signed. They're in that 50-50 split. Their offense isn't scoring points. Like, fun stat, not to go backwards, but if they had averaged 18 points a game, just 18 points a game, the Broncos would be 9-2.
Crazy.
That's horrible.
It is crazy.
If they could get to 18 points a game, they'd be 9-2. That's nuts. But anyway.
No, it's bad.
Javonte Williams for sure.
So what would you say? So that first and second round, you'd agree with me, like Najee, DeAndre. So third and fourth, depending on which leagues, that's kind of when you've been taking
Javonte. Well, Javonte was like mid-second. Yeah. Probably early third. Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, he fell right in there.
Painful. One league I'm hurting heavy, and I got no tight end pretty much most weeks, and now he's hurt. He had multiple 2-catch weeks for like 12 yards. So it was tough. They never utilized him. And I don't know if it's like coaching or if it's just the way he's running routes or the scheme changing, but it's been bad. And now you don't even have to worry about it anymore. That's tough.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson falls into that 4th, 5th round range.
I was going to say Cortland Sutton, but I thought Cortland Sutton was maybe more of like a 5th and 6th.
Yeah.
But some leagues, early 5th, late 4th.
Yeah.
I think Cortland Sutton's been a bust in my mind.
Yeah, he's been rough as well.
It's funny because we're talking about a lot of Broncos players.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot of Broncos
players. Albert, wherever you took him, he got a lot of hype. If you picked him up on waivers week 1, that man's still a bust.
It's still a bust, yeah.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
One good thing is Judy really is, in my mind, isn't considered a bust.
It's injury. He was falling in that 5th and 6th range. The decision was always Judy or Cortland Sutton.
Right now, it's been. I mean, if Judy stayed healthy, it would have been Judy by quite a bit.
But yeah, definitely a bust.
So definitely in those late rounds. I mean, once you get into like that 6th, 7th roundish,
you can't really plague it too much. But
you can't really think about it.
Elijah Mitchell is definitely a bust as well.
Yeah.
Had one good week, got hurt, and when he came back, CMC was on his team. Yeah. Not his fault, but
and now he's hurt again.
Yeah, now he's hurt again. So
Elijah Moore
is also a bust. Not his fault too much. He fell out of favor with the quarterback that he plays with, I guess. Scheme doesn't work for him. He had a good week last week. Might be back on the rise since Mike White's starting. But
which, kind of a random thing. Before we're done, we should definitely talk about Zach Wilson's situation.
Yeah, we should hop into what he got going on. He's buns, but anyway. And he's also a bust. Wherever you took him at.
Yeah, wherever you took him, yeah.
Awful.
Sure. And then some of like those higher upside guys that you thought I was one of those guys, Chase Edmonds in the later rounds. Now you did take him late for a reason.
Yeah, like round 11.
But if you had high hopes like I did for being the RB1,
that didn't last very long either.
He had like a couple decent weeks because he caught a receiving touchdown. But other than that, but some of the booms. Let's talk about some of the booms. First and second rounds.
There's so many. Tyreek Hill. Boom.
If you took him in the first and second,
he wasn't in the first anymore.
People were talking about third and fourth.
Yeah, he's like late second. You were able to get him late second. Earliest I'd see him go is like mid second.
Yeah.
Third, fourth. Tyreek Hill, stupid.
Yep. I think Austin Eckler, my opinion.
But his is such a cheat code. He's literally
finessing.
He's about to have 150 receptions, and it makes me physically ill to watch him play because
it's amazing. I love it.
They're just like little dink and dunk, and then he catches it and like goes 3 yards and then falls, and then they get back in line and then they throw it again, little dink and dunk, and then he scurries and gets like 15, and then they do it again. There'll be some drives where he'll get 6 catches on a single drive.
I love it.
That's stupid.
I've been enjoying and it's funny because first 2 weeks, I'm like, I literally had a moment right here.
Yeah.
And I was calling out Austin Eckler.
And then you had to apologize.
He heard me.
Yeah.
He heard me.
He did.
He watched the video.
And he's like, I'm going to do something stupid.
And this man's gone crazy.
Insane.
He was a boom, but people were kind of expecting that. But people were kind of on that line where they were taking other people like JT, CMC.
Yeah. They didn't think he'd be able to get in the red zone as much as he did last year, which, correct. He has not been able to. The offense has been bad, and that's literally what saved him. His floor is literally, who's the receivers out there? I got Deion Carter, Jalen Guyton's hurt, Keenan Allen's hurt, Mike Williams hurt, so it's Deion Carter, and I don't even remember any other people's names, right? I have Donald Parham. Who?
Palmer.
Yeah, Josh Palmer. Joshua Palmer? I feel like that's his name.
Josh
might be his name.
I'm sure they can see us.
Arnold Palmer.
I'm sure they can see where we got Josh and Joshua.
Exactly. The same round. Yeah. Even like for 3 weeks, Gerald Everett was hurt. Literally, the entire receiving corps was hurt. So Justin Herbert's like, F it. Just a little dink and dunk.
Hey, I'll take it. I took him in 2 leagues, and I'm living, bro. I'm living.
So he's a boom, even though I think it's awful. But yeah,
it's finesse.
Travis Kelce, boom.
Yeah, boom.
Which obviously
Stephon Diggs,
boom. Devontae Adams, even in a poor offense, still doing decent. Not necessarily. I wouldn't say boom. Like his Green Bay years were definitely better, but he's playing well.
So who would you say out of all the people that we've mentioned was like the most riskiest second round pick?
Tyreek Hill, if he went in the second, Tyreek Hill was the most risk.
Okay.
You didn't know what you were gonna get. People thought his ceiling could only be attained if he played with Patrick Mahomes. They knew the deep ball was practically gone, which it is. Big surprise. I don't care what anybody tells me, it is. But the way they use him is just so smart, so fast. Tyreek Hill's like naturally a punt returner, so just to get him in space, it's easy for the kid. He just goes.
Yeah.
And then they're peppering him with targets, so he gets like 15 to 16 targets a game. It's hard to stop that man when he gets the ball in his hands. And he has a second receiver, which is a 1B to his 1A. You don't really have to worry about him getting doubled. It's a cheat code. That's why I think the Miami are on their way to probably a deep playoff run if they keep it up.
I think they definitely will do.
But yeah, he was one of the risks because you didn't know what he'd look like without his quarterback. Mm-hmm. I think taking a wide receiver when they move teams in those early rounds, like a Devontae Adams, huge risk. You don't know what you're going to get that first year with them being on a different team. And the last few examples of it have been pretty good. So He was a huge risk. Everybody knew what you were going to get out of Travis Kelce. The question was if he'd stay healthy all year. He has, thank God. And he's been a cheat code at the tight end position for anybody who's had him. I think the gap between him and tight end 2 is like 24% in scoring. You get 24% higher scoring.
There's like no tight ends that are doing good this year. And the only other one is Mark Andrews, but he was out for 3-4 weeks.
And the last few, and they've just been out of sync in Baltimore since he's gotten back. I don't think he's had a really good week since that injury. Dallas Goedert was the next guy. He's out. TJ Hawkinson was the next guy. He's up and down. So like
everybody's up and down pretty much.
Yeah. So those are the guys.
From like week 3 and 4, who would you say?
Give me round 3 and 4.
Yeah, I keep saying week.
I don't know. It's tough. I don't remember round 3 too much. AJ Brown's been a little bit inconsistent, but those guys have been kind of middle of the road. AJ Brown and CD. I'd say they were late second, early third round guys, and they've done okay.
I would say, I mean, I don't know when exactly he got taken, but I think Etienne is definitely a boom in there.
He was more 4th, 5th round, unless you were me or Chris Perry. Shout out Chris Perry. We were boosting his ADP.
I think he's a boom. I mean, from the weeks that he has played, and he's been ever since
James Robinson out of there.
So I think he's right on that line where like he's not really a boom technically, but he's definitely.
How did I forget my boy Saquon Barkley? 90% of the draft season, this man was a back end second round to mid second round pick.
Yeah,
he's no longer RB1 because that's Josh Jacobs who falls into boom. That man was like late 4th.
This man has hated on Josh Jacobs.
I have. We've had this conversation already too. I'm going to just look for the thumbnail because I'm going to have to post it. I made the thumbnail in preseason, never made the video. He was on my must-draft running backs list. I had a list of 3 guys.
Until we see it, we don't believe it.
I'm going to post it. I'm going to have to do something. But it was him, Travis Etienne, and Saquon Barkley. Went 3 for 3 now. Just saying. But I didn't get to draft Josh Jacobs anywhere because I had different plans. You know what hurts? I took Elijah Mitchell and Leonard Fournette on the turn in KickNPost Dino. And I think the pick after Leonard Fournette, Josh Jacobs went.
Oof.
So I could have went Josh Jacobs and Leonard Fournette, or
anything else.
Literally. But I'm not mad at Lenny. I think Lenny did what he was supposed to do while he was healthy. He's going to be back this week. I think Lenny's okay. Not a boom, not a bust, just middle of the road.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Definitely a boom.
Was a boom. It's been a little bit, less boom, but he's still up there. Dallas Goedert was a boom, I guess.
If you've taken him in 5th and 6th, he's definitely been a boom.
You were probably getting him later. Amari
Cooper.
But yeah, Amari Cooper was a big boom.
Amari Cooper. A lot of people were really down him. I've seen him be drafted in the 8th round.
Yeah,
like people were getting disrespectful. Yeah. But even me, because I wasn't taking him.
Yeah, I was away. I didn't want to wait for Watson to come back.
Yeah, I didn't want to either. I didn't think he was going to have this production with Brissett, but.
Yeah, I was wrong on that.
I'll shut the fuck up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was wrong on that.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt's been a bust. We didn't mention that because everybody was taking him expecting it to still be a 50-50 split. It semi-was, but...
A.J. Dillon.
A.J. Dillon's been a huge bust.
Huge bust.
He was supposed to be in that 50-50 split, and it's been awful for him. He had a good week last week, but it's still been the Aaron Jones show.
And I think this is a good moment to show these split backfields, and I've been saying this. These are 2 of the best ones that you can talk about.
Yeah.
A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And they haven't worked. And I don't think there's really anybody in this league, any team in this league that has had success with 2 running backs. So next year when
we're talking fantasy-wise?
Fantasy-wise, yeah. In real life-wise, like we've said this in the past, it's ideal. But in fantasy, it sucks. So next year, I think it's a good question. If they're in a split backfield, especially if it's supposed to be like a 50-50, 40-60 type thing.
The Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris one was working for a bit before Damian Harris went down. But of course, you see what Ramondre Stevenson turned into once Damian Harris went down.
And even when Damian Harris has been there, Stevenson has been the clear.
He was the 1A,
the clear guy. So it's kind of a conversation for next year. If they're in a split backfield, when do you really want to take them?
And I think you side on the side of talent and utilization. So if you look at both, Nick Chubb, even though he doesn't do as much that Kareem Hunt does, his one role.
He's hella good at it.
He is the guy in the league. Even Derrick Henry admitted Nick Chubb is probably the best pure rusher in the league.
I think you could definitely make that conversation, which it's a conversation I don't think we've ever had. Who do you think is the best running back?
Just pure rusher? Or?
Pure running. Like if you had to have a running back on your team, who would you want on your team?
I want healthy Saquon.
Okay.
But he's not a pure rusher. That's the thing. I just think that he does the rushing so well. And what he could give you in the receiving game is nice. Yeah. I know CMC does what he does, but I don't think he's that great of a pure rusher.
He's not, and I think that Saquon's probably the best,
mix,
best of both worlds. I'm
biased too. I'm feeling like Travis Etienne's in that mold. 215, 6 foot.
Yeah.
Great pass catcher. He built himself into that at Clemson, and then he's got top end speed. I think he's the next guy in terms of split. Could do both.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think if I had to go with my best running back, it'd definitely be Najee Harris.
I mean, he's a brute, fully healthy. The thing is, what are you looking for in a running back, though?
So, I mean, in Najee on paper, in theory, should be a top 3 running back. He's a great pure runner.
Great blocker, too.
Great blocker. Yeah. He has, that physicality as well. And he's an elite pass catcher. Yeah. So, in theory, Najee, we could be having this conversation next year when Najee comes back healthy, fresh new year.
New offensive line,
new offensive coordinator.
It's possible. He just doesn't have that top-end speed.
He doesn't.
But he's not going to break away from anybody, but I guess that's technically, it doesn't have to be. Le'Veon Bell, I could argue, was one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the league, for a hot stint.
He was.
And he was never a top-end speed guy.
He was the best running back in the league.
Patience. Agility,
patience. Speak of
Yeah.
Jesus, you've seen like his highlights?
Where he would stop.
He would literally just hang out there for 3 seconds and be like, all right.
Yeah, he would make decisions. He'd be like, all right, if I cut this way, nah. Cut this, okay, I'm going to take the center and go. Mm-hmm. Like, insane. Man.
I feel like I see a little bit of Najee in with Le'Veon Bell a little bit, but we could be having a conversation next year with Najee being a top 3 official, top 5 running back. But for right now, I'm kind of like in that Nick Chubb. I still want to give my respects to Derrick Henry, but if we're looking for someone that can do a little bit of both, or just kind of like who do you want on your team?
Into that a little bit.
He has, but he's, in my opinion, it's just more of like a forced thing. In my opinion, it doesn't look natural. It just looks like that's Derrick Henry. I'm gonna give him the ball regardless. Yeah. If I want like one running back for my team, obviously I think I would like someone on that, on each side kind of thing.
Yeah.
Saquon's pretty nice. But I'd probably go like JT.
He's up there too.
Because I know JT can catch the ball.
Insane athlete too.
Saquon is probably the better pass catcher, but running the ball, you could definitely make an argument for either one of them.
Yeah. JT's a little bit bigger though, so if you want to make a huge argument,
I think that's the reason why I'm kind of going with JT. He's a little bit bigger, a little bit more boom. If I wanted to use him in the red zone, but Saquon is definitely no slouch in that category either. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We should get into like these late sleepers who really boomed, like Jeff Wilson.
Jeff Wilson. Don't talk about Jeff Wilson around me. I had him on one team, and I traded it to him for Benjamin because I had James Conner and he had Elijah Mitchell. And he was like, "Oh, that's stupid. I'll do it though, just cause, but that's stupid."
Yeah.
And then we made the trade, and everybody in the comment section said, "Boring. Sleep."
Watch me win the league with Jeff Wilson now.
Now both of them, Benjamin, not really, but he had his weeks. And Jeff Wilson,
I ended up with both of them.
You did. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Shouts out to.
Don't remind me of that
trade.
Superflex leagues. Don't remind me of that trade. Now that trade was awful.
You just said next year we won't care when Russell Wilson wins the Super Bowl, and now it's an awful trade.
I hope so.
Wish you could stick to your takes. Anyway,
I did stick to my takes. I'm hoping that
Jeff Wilson. Jamal Williams.
Hey, Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, that guy too. He was getting a little bit of hype at the back end of the draft season, so he started going higher than Damian Harris, but
rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. Curtis Samuel. Shouts out Chris Perry. This man has been beating. I know. Now he's tapered off to real Curtis Samuel, but he was week winning potential the first 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, he was.
Remember when you wouldn't take Deontay Johnson in a trade over Curtis Samuel? Week 2, I was like, if I offered you Deontay Johnson for Curtis Samuel, you said no.
Because that man just scored back-to-back 20-point games.
You prisoner of the moment. Prisoner of the moment.
Even now, I think Curtis Samuel was a higher. Curtis Samuel was ranked number 20.
Yeah, but
this last week, Deontay is in the 50s.
Yeah, he's having a rough go at it.
So. And I was able to move away from Curtis Samuel because I put him on the trade block week 3 because I'm like, I gotta move on from this guy. I gotta move on, but nobody wanted to buy him.
Everybody was like, we gotta.
Because he doesn't really have that name.
It's not only the name; it's the team. It's the name of the
team.
Name
of the team. Both of them are just bad.
Yeah, Carson Wentz, Taylor Heineke, it don't matter. It doesn't really give you that high of a ceiling. Yeah. Actually, his ceiling dipped once Carson got hurt.
Yeah.
Heineke just isn't really looking for that type of route when he's playing. He plays a little bit more gung ho, who's deep.
Yeah, and that's not really his specialty. I mean, you have John Dotson, you have Scary Terry, you have De'Ami Brown, which De'Ami Brown seems like that guy that's for those the long balls, and even Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin's
Terry McLaurin's role too.
But. So Curtis Samuel is just kind of like that gadget guy.
Still think he's definitely a steal. Deontay Foreman. He's tapering off now, and of course it's a late season thing, but Deontay Foreman's up there for me as well. Late round quarterbacks, not really. Kind of getting what you expected out of the late round quarterbacks.
Justin Fields, but people kind of expected it with the rushing.
Yeah, so he was going middle of the pack, I feel like.
Yeah.
Dynasty definitely higher because he was a young quarterback, but redraft he was middle of the pack. Yeah.
Christian Watson. So far now he's been.
Yeah, but it's been literally a 4-week stint. So it's funny how we could because Curtis Samuel we're arguing maybe not.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's just where you put the 4 weeks.
Sure.
Because Christian Watson the first 9 to 10 we're like, bruh, Romeo Dobbs. But he's hurt. So now it's Christian Watson. Now it's, I don't know if I want any of them. We're talking about injured Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to be
Jordan
shaky.
Love possibly being in there. Yeah.
Which that might ruin my fantasy season, too. Aaron Rodgers goes down, I don't have a second quarterback anymore.
Luckily, you have a great team, though.
So Carson Wentz lost his job. I don't have Russell Wilson to sling in there anymore.
Hey, you can buy Russell Wilson back. Just expect to throw Mark Andrews.
I'll shoot for third to get my money back.
Honestly, you're better off just putting one of your bench guys in there.
I'll just ride like an Adam Thielen or something
until Russell Wilson becomes an actual quarterback. We'll have to see. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like I'm missing somebody
for the booms.
For the booms in the late rounds. Maybe I'm not. No. I think that's it.
I think everybody else.
Shout out Justin Jefferson. He's an early round boom, but
people were expecting.
Yeah, like he was going stupid high. Cooper Kupp, of course, he's hurt now, but
he was doing his thing.
Yeah, he was doing his thing. But
I guess another person that we failed to mention was Matthew Stafford.
Huge bust, and out now. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's I feel like this is a weird year of football fantasy because we have so many. What's his name? Bryce Perkins. We have Deshaun Watson's coming back now. We had Jacoby Brissett starting for half that year. We have Sam Ellinger starting at one point.
A week or two. They benched Matt Ryan. It was like, actually, we realized that's a horrible idea.
Yeah. So they had him
Colt
in there
McCoy's had a few weeks balling out. Mike White's in there right now.
Joe Flacco.
Trevor Siemian played last week.
What the hell is happening?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but...
The last thing we can really talk about is these two quarterback situations. We can talk about Aaron Rodgers and who was the other one that we mentioned earlier? Zach Wilson. We can talk about those situations. So what are your thoughts on the Zach Wilson stuff going on? You think he's actually that trash?
I think he's lacking accountability. When you struggle the way you did against defense, when you guys had, what was it? They had more punts than yards, I think, in the second half. That's atrocious.
It's bad.
And when you can't take any responsibility, even if you feel like it isn't your fault, take a lesson in taking accountability when it's not your fault, right?
That's being a leader.
Which, I'll live on that crap in my life. I don't care what it is. Sure, bro, my fault, right? You see guys like Jalen Hurts with one loss or anything, even in games where they don't score as much. He shoulders that responsibility. Josh Allen, it has been his fault in the games they've struggled recently, throwing red zone interceptions.
He's not capping, but
yeah, he's not capping, but he takes that on. Right? Tom Brady has done that in the past. The greats do that. And you were just boldly with your chest out like, no, I am not bad. I know my defense held this team to 9 points for 90% of the game.
I really feel like in that second half,
yeah,
I could have managed to produce more yards.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was looking.
We really could have.
Yeah, I was looking. I was like, can I run a gadget or something? like
at this point, they could trick play. Can we get something going?
You saw how petty Elijah Moore was?
No.
The week after they lost that game, he posted on his story him warming up in practice, throwing the ball. He posted himself and put me in, coach. Yeah, that's petty as crap.
That is petty.
But
that's petty.
Yeah, run.
Me and you, we complete a slant for 10 yards.
But I'll put my head down. At this point, I'm like, concuss me. I'll get at least 3 yards falling forward. I might be out, but
you do 5 quarterback sneaks in a row. We match it.
Something. I just don't get it, bro. And to just stand up there and be like, nah, none of it's my fault. When your weapons are better than a lot of the league, your defense is better than a lot of the league. Your team was playoff contenders with you out. I think you've only been there for 2 wins. Maybe. I don't even know if he's been there for 2 wins.
And he's
been there for a lot of the losses, right? So, how do you not take that on your shoulders? And then you see Mike White come in the next week and he didn't even do anything crazy. If you watch the game, some of the stuff that was balling out were simple completions. He didn't do anything wild. He had one where, he hit Garrett Wilson over the middle, right? Solid completion. The DB went down with a rolled ankle, so Garrett Wilson just turned it upfield and scored a 56-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
But it was a simple pass. The difference is Zach Wilson probably doesn't hit that shit. even though it's a simple pass. That's the problem.
Because they have weapons. They got Elijah Moore, which I still think
they put the ball in his hand. He scored last week.
Scored a touchdown. He's been someone I like Elijah Moore. I was big on him going into the draft this year.
Big bust actually.
We
didn't even mention him. Big bust.
I mentioned him.
Oh, you did? Yeah, he was huge bust.
I did.
You liked him over Garrett Wilson. Not your fault.
I did,
but huge bust.
But looking back at it now, I mean, you have Elijah Moore. You got Garrett Wilson. I mean, who else do they have? Corey Davis.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I just feel like you got the talent.
Freaking Denzel Mims came back from the dead. He's been playing a little bit because Corey Davis has been in and out. Tight end's been a point of for them.
Conklin.
Yeah, they have Conklin. They have Uzama.
Just men.
Yeah, there's just bodies. Michael Carter's playing well. They got this new guy, Zenovian Knight. He played well last week.
Everybody, I saw him pick him up.
Yeah, he got a lot of touches, and Michael Carter's not the healthiest right now, so he could easily become the 1A. He could be that playoff run stretch fantasy running back that you need.
Yeah.
I didn't pick him up in KickNPost Dino because I was like...
What?
I mean, I think I tried. I don't know if I paid him.
I think you tried. I remember someone dropped like 75, and I think you did like 20 or something like that.
I paid 75 in another league. I didn't have the. That's it. I didn't have the fab. I don't think I had the fab to get him. I knew it'd be expensive.
Because I thought there was a league that you did spend 75 and you.
I did. Might have been like winner takes all or something.
It's probably winner takes all.
I gotta check.
Which I think we and you were facing each other that week.
Really? Sheesh. Your team's a juggernaut too.
It's been struggling a little bit, but.
Like 9-3. What do you mean struggling?
Oh, I'm like 9-2, 10-2, I think.
Yeah, I was about to
put some respect
talking about. I'm 8-4, and I think I'm struggling, but
yeah,
nah.
No, that team's been clicking ever since I lost Zach Ertz, though. It's been tough. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he should shoulder more responsibility. Sitting out might be good for him. Have him earn it back. And I like how Robert Saleh did with the benching. He came to the press conference and he said that I know for a lot of people, they think that this is writing off his career and he's done as a Jet, but it's far from that. This is an opportunity for him to sit back and watch, sit back and learn. And instead of having to prepare to immediately play, prepare and learn the offense a little bit more or learn what it takes to kind of win games.
Win your team.
Win your team over and figure it out because he still has a lot of high hopes in Zach and he wants to give him the best opportunity to succeed. And I respect that. Now, if they go out there and drop Zach in the offseason, because I think they have a high pick they still have a high pick from like a trade or something this year or something.
Yeah.
It'd look a little bit wild after, but I respect the way he benched him.
I've been really impressed with Robert Saleh for a while now.
Beast. So. Huge loss for the Niners. He was, having the head coach they had, and then Mike McDaniels as their offensive head coach, and then Robert Saleh as their defensive head coach. It's a cheat code.
Yeah.
All these guys have above 500 records and are going to be in the playoffs most likely. They all used to be on the same coaching tree.
And we're talking about the Jets having winning records. Having a winning record.
I'm not going to lie. Over here at KickNPost, we kind of posted Jets predictions. I think me and Chris both had them going over 500.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good for you. I mean, they had the talent.
We flunked on the Patriots, though. I had Patriots winning 4 games. I thought they were going to be buns.
I mean, we could talk about Seattle while we're talking about this topic.
Yeah. I had them winning 1.
Hey, bro, I thought they were trash too. So
yeah,
it's all good. But.
And going into Aaron Rodgers, I think even though I love fantasy and I need him, it's time to shut him down.
I think so too.
They're not playing for anything.
I think they should trade him too at the end of the season.
Really?
If Jordan Love has shown you enough, I think they should move on from him.
Even if not, if they have their first round pick, which I'm pretty sure they do. It's time for a reset. If you don't trust in Jordan Love, there is a multitude of quarterbacks. I'd say at least 3 that I'd confidently draft to kind of come in and start if need be.
And what we have seen in Jordan Love, especially this last game, I don't know if you were watching.
Been awful. Yeah,
it actually wasn't even. Yeah. It wasn't even mid. I thought it was pretty impressive.
I think
he had the way the ball kind of flying out of his hand, and
that's what wowed them. That's what made them decide. Aaron doesn't need a receiver. Let's go get his replacement.
Yeah.
It's his arm strength and the way the ball was coming off of his hand.
It looked good, and it got to the receivers on the right spots, and he didn't throw a pick. I think did he throw a passing touchdown? I don't think he did, but he had
He did. He hit
Did he?
He hit Christian Watson, I thought. Did he not?
He might have.
That might have still been A-Rod.
But he put some good numbers. It looked good.
He hit Randall Cobb, which was an obvious DPI, and they didn't call it. Hit him in the end zone, and defensive pass interference, he dropped it.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I forgot.
Yeah. But yeah, if he's your guy, invest in him, I guess, and do send Aaron Rodgers somewhere else. But the market for Aaron Rodgers, I feel like, is.
But this is the last time you're really gonna be able to sell him. It's either you sell him or you start him. You can't cut him.
So I could see him. Where would you trade him to close out the episode? Where would you trade Aaron Rodgers?
It's just who could afford it. Like I think like a good spot would be like New Orleans, but I don't think they have the money or the picks to really go get him.
Detroit. They're not going to trade him in division.
They're not going to trade in division.
Detroit
has the pieces around them. They have a good O-line, good weapons. They'd have to figure out that defense, though. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers...
It's been getting better. Aiden Hutchinson's been playing well.
He has been. Another team...
Oakland could reset.
I thought... But Devontae, would they really do that?
Why not? Devontae didn't leave because he hated A-Rod.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess that...
Carolina.
I wonder if you could do some kind of package where you send off Derek Carr and you give us Aaron.
You could.
That'd be very ideal for
you.
Could. What's the other place you said?
Carolina.
Yeah. Would he go there though?
If you're trying to get out of Green Bay, I don't know. I don't know if you have much of a choice.
I feel like it'd be like. I feel like what you were saying. The Saints and what was the other team that you mentioned?
Detroit.
No, it's a division though, so realistically
Vegas.
They probably won't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who could really afford him.
Patriots.
Patriots could be a good one.
Patriots could be a great one. Arguably, people always said he was more talented than Brady. You drop him with one of the best coaches in NFL history. Could do a lot, and he's already used to not playing with receivers, so it's a good spot for him.
I mean, I think Jacoby Myers.
The Giants.
Yeah.
Big market.
That's a worse receiving core though.
I know, but
almost worse than Green Bay's.
Good, not almost. Right now, it definitely is. I don't know. I'm just pulling in stuff where I feel like you have questionable quarterback play. You drop him in there, you figure it out after that. That's obviously one that he's been tied to, like 5-6 weeks ago. That would be a spot where he'd enjoy, but you guys got Pickett.
Yeah, it'd be crazy for
Don't stunt his growth if you believe in the kid.
No, I wouldn't want them to do it. Is that an ideal spot?
For him, of course.
For him, for sure, but I think as a team...
Great defense, great offensive weapons, great coaching, I think, personally. So, I think that's a good spot.
It's not a personal thing. The Steelers have great coaching, period.
Yeah. He'd want to go to the Niners.
That could be a good one, but Trey Lance,
it depends how he looks coming back off the injury, but he'd want to go to the Niners for... That's where he wanted to get drafted to, I think.
Yeah.
He's a Cali kid, so...
There's some places that he can go, but I definitely think if you're Green Bay, and Jordan Love has been...
The Colts.
The Colts actually could be a great spot. Good O-line. You have some decent weapons. Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, you have a good running game. You had one in Green Bay, but you also...
Woods is a solid tight end. You got Mo Alley Cox, who's a fun tight end, too. The defense usually steps up. They've been playing okay this year.
Yeah. I can see the Colts,
and they
depending on what they pay for
a
quarterback, they could see them getting a receiver in there.
Yeah.
So
there's options for them, but I think for this year at 3 wins now, 4 wins, whatever it is,
he might as well just
shut it down. There's no reason. Obviously, I think he's also playing for stats and pride, so he's gonna keep it pushing. But if I'm them, I call it a day. And get Jordan Love out there.
See what you got.
Get the young kid.
Because this is the time for them to kind of decide. They need to know information. And they're about to get to that point where seeing Jordan Love in live action on prime time, and I think this is a great opportunity for them to kind of take advantage of it. This is the only time you're really going to see him in action in an actual football game. So
I agree. I hope they make that move just for Aaron Rodgers doing his career, and we can finally see what Jordan Love does. And from a fantasy perspective, it's another quarterback in the mix. Again, so that's always fun. It's always fun to add.
Which hopefully in Dynasty, you were kind of stashing Jordan Love.
A lot of people are. If you're a smart Dynasty player, he's been on people's Staxy squads if it goes 2 years out. And if not, people have been trying to sell him for God knows how long. Now, people are just like, maybe not. I haven't seen as many random Jordan Love offers now.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see.
Somebody should offer me Jordan Love for Russell Wilson straight up. That's looking like a dub now. Like,
don't say that. You
I
literally just said
it.
You literally said Russell Wilson.
Oh man!
I had to pay a price for Russell Wilson.
I know. At this point, I might even take freaking what's third string buddy on the Washington team. Played for North Carolina. Sam Howell. I might take Sam Howell in a pick for Russell Wilson at this point.
Russell Wilson's still a starter. Wait till next year.
Yeah, I know.
Hopefully.
Hey, this has been episode 11 of Teal and Steel, the first of the festive festive Christmas theme. Merry Christmas.
Shout out Soleil.
Yes, she always kills it with the decorations. That one definitely is done. I was about to close it out again because of the camera. That's crazy. We're aiming for hopefully daily posts on the channel in December. It's a goal I've set. I've already missed December 1st. So from December 2nd on...
Starting on the 2nd,
I'm going for daily posts, not necessarily of Teal and Steel, but of all our projects. Thank you all again for the support. We're up to 415 subscribers now.
Ooh.
Close to that 500. Close to that 500. So thank y'all for the support. More UFC content coming. As I said before, y'all UFC people don't see the stuff. And more Teal and Steel. And more sports. Got a green screen. It's about to turn up. So
it's about to be lit.
Thank y'all for watching. See y'all on the next one. Peace.
Bye.
I like leaving in the last part while I walk around and talk and turn off the cameras.
Oh, you leave that part in?
Sometimes.
Oh my god.
Every once in a while.
So now I gotta leave back to you when I'm done.